Welcome, everybody. Talks for the People, episode 43. It's been a while. You thought we went away. We've just been really busy, and people's been on vacation. People's been doing their secondary jobs, and you don't want to hear me just talk at the camera for an hour. So we're back, everybody. We'll get into what everybody's been doing, but before we kick it off, how y'all doing today?
Doing good, doing good. It's a wonderful Saturday for football.
Yeah, feeling good today. I'm excited to get to finally do a podcast and watch some football and going to my parents' house in a little while and hang out with them, watch football. So should be a fun day.
How'd you enjoy that
game tonight?
Yes. How'd that football game go last Saturday, Stephen and Cody?
You can go fluff yourself.
Speaking of, I don't see anything wrong with your hair.
Yeah,
I jury duty all week. I didn't get a chance to.
Oh,
I told him I'd do it next Wednesday.
okay.
Yep.
Well, that's
because I figured you wouldn't be able to since you had jury duty all week. But yep, it's coming.
Did we ever let our listeners in on what the bet was this year?
I don't think they knew we had a bet this year. So I made a bet with the Auburn LSU game again, and which will be the last one because I told Daniel I was like, I'm not losing more than twice, so you can hang it up. Don't even waste your time asking me to bet next year. I'll tell you to go F yourself. But LSU won, and he would have to paint his beard purple and gold, and if Auburn won, I would have to frost my tips. So next podcast, I will probably have frosted tips
and look like a Backstreet Boy.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a before we get into the football talk, where this podcast is probably headed. We put up two bite sizes with you telling a story. It took you a while to get all the details worked out, but you got your trip to Disney World. How was it?
It was absolutely stellar. And Disney spoiled the crap out of me. I won't experience Disney the same way ever again. So, especially for some of our younger listeners, the reason I won the sweepstakes is because they were having a 50th anniversary sweepstakes. Disney just had their 50th anniversary celebrating Walt Disney World. And because of that, there was a lot of media, there was a lot of famous people and stuff like that there to experience it in the event. So, outside of normal Disney World stuff, I got 2 VIP days, which is where Disney World has pretty much a cast member walk you around and do what you want to do. A VIP tour of Disney World. I instead of taking a bus, they picked me up in an SUV. They drove me around to the backside of the park so I didn't have to wait in lines. And then we walked to the backside of the park, and any ride I wanted to get on, I was like, I want to go on that one. He just walked me straight to the front. Just everything was just completely spoiled. He gave me some tips and all that other stuff. Well, outside of that, we had a couple of media event dinners where we and all the news stations, a lot of big time podcasters, YouTubers and stuff like that got invited so they can kind of spread the word and share it, the event. And I got to eat dinner. And the table next to me had the voice of Mickey Mouse. His wife is actually, if you watch the Star Wars animated series, Ahsoka Tano is like Anakin Skywalker's Padawan in the show. His wife is the voice of Ahsoka Tano. I got to sit next to her at the table. And then the kid who plays Miguel in Coco, he was at the table next door. He's only 17 years old, but he was super popular. And I'm like, who is this kid? And the guy told me, he was like, that's the voice of Miguel. And I'm like, you don't ever think you'll get giddy? And I always thought, I was like, I'd be that type of person. I'd be like, that's super cool, but I wouldn't get overwhelmed. I heard and I was like, that's so cool. It was like at the table next to me. I was freaking out. And I was like, that's so cool. Just to be around all those famous people. So it was definitely an experience to be able to see everything and to be around all those people. I mean, the special event So like Magic Kingdom has, separate sections. They have a Fantasyland, they have a Frontierland, they have an Adventureland, they have a Tomorrowland. And one of the events actually closed the entire section of Tomorrowland off in the park. Said they cut people off. They said you can't come in here. We have a special event. And then we left the park and came out through another door. Came in through another door, and it was like a backstage door, and there was like a red carpet event. That's where I got to meet the. I actually took a picture with it was like the CEO of Celebrations or something like that for Disney. And then I saw Miguel again. I saw the voice of Mickey again, the voice of Ahsoka Tano again, and a whole bunch of other, huge famous people. And, they had steaks, and the best steak I've ever had in my life. I was like, holy crap, that I could have gummed that steak. I didn't need teeth to eat that steak. It was absolutely delicious. But they had all these different foods and desserts and stuff like that. And that same night, that it was the 30th, Disney premiered, or I guess pre-released the fireworks spectacular for Magic Kingdom. So it wasn't even open to the public yet. The public couldn't see it. It was just the media. So we got to go in that night in the front of the castle and watch that spectacular before everyone else. And of course, on top of all of that, Disney gave me a bunch of free crap. It's like, hey, here's a backpack, and here's an iPhone case, and here's a cookbook, and just a whole bunch of just free stuff that they were like, you like this stuff? Here, go ahead. And the backpack is event exclusive, so I couldn't. You can't buy it anywhere at Disney. You can't find it anywhere. It was only exclusive to the 2,000, 3,000 people that were invited to the event. So I'm one of 2,000 to 3,000 people on the planet that has this Disney backpack. So it would not surprise me if I tried to put it up on eBay a month from now and I could get $5,000 off of it. Because people collect Pokemon cards and Magic cards, and they collect American Girl dolls and stuff, and like Disney stuff is a high demand for like the diehard Disney people. So it would not surprise me if some of this stuff that I got that's like backstage access stuff, people would pay big dollar to get. It's just the whole experience just blew me away. And like I said, I'm gonna go back next time and I'll be like, this is so mediocre. Like I'm not getting any free stuff anymore. I'm not getting backstage passes to anything. I don't get to avoid the massive crowds in front of the park when it opens. Everything is going to be so. Like, even my dad, who's been going for the last 35 years, 40 years, is like, after we had the VIPs and all that, like the day after the first, we went and it was just us and we didn't talk to anybody. It was just like, I guess it was all right today. It was pretty good, I suppose. Like, it was so underwhelmed because Disney spoiled us like crazy for like 3 or 4 days straight. And then I was like, oh, looks like we're back at Disney World again. Okay.
So your wife was really nice when all this went down and told you to take your dad and all that, and part of her's regretting that decision now, isn't she?
She was the sweetheart that she is. She actually went out of her way and suggested, she's like, look, I understand, and I really would like to do this with you, but I think you should take your dad. So I ended up taking my dad. And I want to say 3 days before the trip, I got my hotel reservation, and I told her what it was. It's the Grand Floridian, and the stay per night for that hotel is $768 a night. Ooh. A night for that. That's 3 days of a Disney trip alone. For park tickets for me, Corey, and Cora, everything. Like 3 days for one night at a hotel stay there. I told her that, and she was like, all right, I completely regret this. So, the VIP tours, if you were to look up a VIP tour at Disney right now, it's $850 an hour. And you have to have a bare minimum of 7 hours to do it.
What?
It's like $7,000 to $8,000 to book a VIP door at Disney right now, and they gave me 2 days, and I didn't need 10 people. It was just me and my dad. 2 days for free. I'm telling you, spoiled. We looked it up, and I was like, Dad, they just gave us $5,000 for 1 day to do this. Like the Disney trip alone, like the hotel, I mean, they probably spent $15,000 for me and my father to be there for the week. And then along with getting to see Enchantment, the Magic Kingdom's Night Spectacular, the night before it opened. So Ratatouille opened up on the 1st, and I got to see that on the 28th. I got to see that 2 days early. It was closed to the public. The media could go back there. They could take their pictures. They can, hey, this is this is that. And I got to go see that ride and then eat the food back there and everything before it even opened.
That's awesome. So, that means it'll be open when I go in April.
Yes, it's open now. Don't look at my new podcast YouTube channel because I actually uploaded video footage of the ride, unless you want to see it. Because
I'll look at that stuff beforehand. That's cool.
It was neat. It makes you feel like the whole idea is you're shrunken down to the size of a rat, and it's going to make you feel like you're one of the rats in the kitchen, like, oh, we got to get away. The chef's after us kind of thing. It's super cool.
That's
so
awesome.
Did y'all eat back there?
Yes. They actually had ratatouille and crepes. I had Nutella crepes. Oh, my gosh. Oh, oh man. Oh, my ratatouille? God. Yes, I had the ratatouille, too. The ratatouille was super good. I really liked it. I didn't think I would because it looks like it's vegetables and
it's all vegetables.
All right. Yeah, we make it. Me and my wife have made it several times. It's really good.
Well, the way they made it is because the restaurant's kind of a crepe shop. They actually made it in a not as sweet crepe. They put the ratatouille in it and then they folded it on top of. So it was almost like an omelet. The way they made it with the ratatouille stuff on the inside. I mean, it was good, but it was good. It was good. It was enjoyable.
Is that cookbook you got? Is that all the recipes that they cook at Disney World and everything?
I haven't looked through all of it, but it should be. Like, it'll tell you how to make the Ronto wrap. It'll tell you how to make some of their cupcakes. It'll tell you how to. I mean, it breaks the. I mean, the thing is like this thick. It is a fat cookbook.
You might have to let me borrow that. Let me and Zoe cook some Disney food.
I'm sure the gray stuff is in there too. If you want to learn how to make the gray stuff, I heard it's delicious.
Zoe would love that. If I tell her what are we having for dinner tonight, the gray stuff from Beauty and the Beast. Like,
so yep. Stephen, most importantly, how much fun did you have spending a week with your dad in Disney?
It touched me in a special way because, like I said, my dad has always been my hero since I was a kid. 8 years old, somebody was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my answer was never Michael Jordan or Tom Brady or anything like that. It was always, I want to be just like my dad because I've always had this huge respect for my father. He's always seemed to be the most honest, genuine person that I know. And he has given me these opportunities in life. He's taught me everything he knows, and he's raised me, I feel, to be a good human being. And he's taken me to Disney World every year since I was 6 months old. I mean, until I was 25 probably, and then I started doing my own Disney trips and stuff like that. So, I mean, he has done so much for me in my life to experience this moment and have that with him. I mean, we got the photo pass too. So, I mean, we had the Disney photographers took 280 photos that I got to keep for free because of the trip, and I didn't have to pay for them. So I have all those memories with my dad that I just, and he just turned 73 in September. So this is kind of a birthday trip for him too. I mean, he kind of admitted at 73, I mean, he probably not going to be able to walk around Disney World like he could, before. Right. He was like, this is probably the last normal Disney trip I'll ever take if I ever take another one. He's like, because my legs, he said, I had problems keeping up with you. And I was like, well, I tried to slow it down for you. And he's like, oh yeah, when I was struggling. let's just say we both agreed we had the best sleep of our life because and I'm sure y'all are the same way. Like Alan walking to a concert, if he's going with his wife, she's like, "Hey, Alan, slow down.
Yeah,
we're gonna be there." Yeah, like
that's if we go to Walmart. Jamie's a slow walker.
So typically, when I'm visiting with friends or family or something like that, my wife and Coraline, I try to walk a little bit slower, but it was just me and my dad. Oh, dude, we were balls to the wall. I mean, we had that 1980s power walk going through the parks, like we were strolling, baby.
You just see Steven's dad like kind of stopping and resting, and then you see like Steven's arm come in the screen and like, let's go, and he pull him and like all his clothes stay there, but his body goes like on the cartoon.
Tell him this, and he might see this podcast because he watches this to let me know. But it would not surprise me if some of the reasons he took so many pictures is because he needed a break and he was using that as an excuse. Hold on, I'm gonna get a picture real quick. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy for y'all. That's great.
It was spectacular.
I'm glad you had a good time. You did end up having to miss a fantastic concert. Attila was great, dude. Attila put on a great show.
Despite me not being a big metal fan, that actually did make me slightly sad. I was like, man, I really wanted to go to that with you. I wanted to be in my first mosh pit, and I wanted to get punched in the head for the first time. I mean, I just wanted it all.
It was a good time. I also did end up going to Furnace Fest, which, if you're from the Birmingham area or know anything about, like, pretty much most of it was an underground metal scene. It was a festival we had here in Birmingham, Alabama. It ran for 4 years from 2000 to 2003. They had scheduled a 20-year one-time reunion last year before the world exploded, and it got canceled or postponed. They did have Furnace Fest this year. I did get to go. Shout out to Chad, who is the main guy behind Furnace Fest, and all of his partners who put this on. They maintained the integrity of the festival. It was out at Sloss Furnaces for 3 days, 3 stages, 90 bands. And oh my God, it was amazing. I was able to get front row for some bands I haven't seen in 10 years, some bands I haven't listened to in 12, 15 years. It was an amazing time for me. I had every intention of recording like something to put up on this channel. Like I showed Cody at work afterwards. I've got the intro recorded where I'm walking down the street in Birmingham, walking up to Sloss, and then I just got in there and I just mind blown. The music I was at Sloss Furnace for 13 hours. Gates opened at 10. Kill Switch Engage closed out the festival on Sunday night, and they ended at 11 o'clock. So I was there for 13 hours on Sunday, and phenomenal show. Everybody from August Burn Shred, Knocked Loose put on an incredible show. I could name half the bands that played at Furnace Fest, but it would... Y'all wouldn't have a clue who most of them are. A lot of bands did come out of retirement just to do Furnace Fest and play like their most popular albums start to finish. The Juliana Theory got back together and played their most popular album. Discovered some new bands that I had lightly heard about. New hardcore band called Dying Wish, female-fronted hardcore band that thoroughly impressed me, and not just because it's a female lead singer. She can stand her own with any... She's not a female lead singer, she is a singer. She has a presence on stage, and Dying Wish is a new favorite band of mine. They just dropped their full-length album last week. If anybody listening to this is into hardcore music, do yourself a favor, go check out that Dying Wish album. But the most exciting thing that happened in between Motionless in White finished their set on Sunday night, and at the main stage out in the big field, they had this big video screen where they were putting up band logos or announcements during the day. And after Motionless in White finished their set and the stage lights came up so the stagehands could all start moving the set, getting ready for the next band, this big image popped up on the video screen and said, "See you next year, same weekend." They're doing Furnace Fest again. I'm not going to be stupid this time. I'm getting the early bird tickets and saving $100 per ticket. Well, look, it was the weekend after fees was a $300 ticket. But it's a good price. You got 3 days, 90 bands. I mean, it's the average festival cost. Look at Rocklahoma. Look at the one down in Orlando. Look at Louder Than Life out in Kentucky. I mean, they didn't overcharge. If anything, they were a little bit cheaper.
Cool.
So it was a fantastic show. It's coming back next year, and I cannot wait. Hopefully around December. They announced early bird tickets, and I will go ahead and buy my early bird tickets and not procrastinate to something I know good and well that I'm going to go to. So, looking forward to that. And before we dive into all the crap talking to each other, Cody, you got anything? Me and Steven have kind of dominated the first part of this. What's on your mind, man? What's been going on?
Well, I've been pretty busy, but I guess since the last time we all talked, I went and saw Miles Kennedy in the Hangout Festival in Jasper, Alabama. That's been probably 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I
Something
think
like
it was
that.
about 2 weeks before, a week and a half, or 2 weeks before Furnace Fest. So yeah, 3 weeks ago.
I'm gonna have a short video for that. I have all the stuff. I just haven't had time to put it together. So be looking for that bite size. It's just be some footage from the concert, and then I kind of talked about it afterwards, just kind of discuss how it went. And then the most important thing you missed, Stephen, while you were gone, the most important concert you missed was mine.
Yeah, I saw you had played a couple of times, haven't you?
No, just once.
Okay.
Came out of retirement. I haven't played a gig since 2006, I believe. It's the last time I played a gig. So it's been 15 years, and came out of retirement, played it on tap on a Wednesday night in Fultondale, and it was a great crowd. It was a fun night. Parts of it were rough, getting the rust off, but some of it was really good. Like I said, it was a good crowd. Shout out to all my buddies from the golf course. They came by and stayed about an hour. And my wife is my biggest fan. I love you, sweetheart. She was there the whole night. She helped me take everything down, and ended up we was kind of joking, and I said, "Well," she said, "is this tip a tip jar at the end of the night?" Said, "Is this my roadie fee?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." Well, when we got home, it was almost as much as what I got paid to do the gig. So I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not a good trade." It was fun, a lot of fun, and I plan on doing some more real soon. So I'll keep everybody updated on that. I might have a bite size about that as well. I did record something for it, so we'll see if I can get that done too. That's about it. Just working, reffing, uh, working on this new house. It's been pretty busy. Hadn't seen Steven in 2 weeks, so that's been rough. Rough at work.
We had 2 weeks of wings without you.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Well, actually, I heard you had pizza yesterday.
No. Did the pizza ever? Did the pizza ever come? After I ate lunch, I went and talked to Daniel. I went and talked to the office, and they were still waiting on somebody to show up.
Dang.
Interesting afternoon yesterday.
We'll
I
get
spent the whole afternoon driving around Birmingham looking for WD-40.
That is interesting.
Yeah, we won't go into that because of work. But anyway, that was my afternoon yesterday. But yeah, so the people at King's Wings miss you terribly, Stephen.
Oh, did they say that? That's sweet of them.
Every time I go in there, they're like, "Where's Stephen this week?" So last week I told them using Disney, and they're like, "Oh," and then this week I said, "That lucky dog had jury duty all week," and they're like, "He is so in trouble."
They're gonna actually charge you for your cheesecake this week.
Oh, what?
All right, it is Saturday. We do live in the South. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Who we gonna pick on first? Because honestly, I think both of y'all lose this week. But we'll go with the easy one. Hold on, Cody. I'm gonna let you speak first. I want an honest opinion. Is Auburn gonna even make this game competitive against number 2 Georgia?
All right, well let me get all this out, okay, before y'all comment. Got a lot. I'm gonna be like Lee Corso here. I got a lot of stats and stuff to talk about. Okay, so Georgia has looked impeccable the entire season, with the exception of the first game. Their offense was they played an elite defense, or what we think is an elite defense in Clemson.
Yeah,
But they've been on a roll ever since. Just been smoking people. At some point, you have to have an off week. So, with that being said, Auburn's coming off a very big win on the road, coming home. Auburn plays different at home. Auburn's a tough place to play. I don't see Auburn winning today, but I do think they cover the spread. I think it's a 10-point game or so. I think it's competitive. I think Auburn's defense is comparable to Clemson's defense this year. I mean, Clemson got beat by Georgia Tech. So
and NC State. They got beat by
NC State. Yeah. So I think our defenses are comparable, and Auburn's a tough place to play. I think Auburn keeps it within the spread. I don't think we win by any means, but I think it's a good game. I mean, the spread's 14.5 to 15.5, depending on where you look. So
15 right now.
If they lose by 2 touchdowns, they cover the spread. So that's just my feeling on it. I think Auburn had a good, they keep improving, and Nick scares the hell out of me. I don't know. It's going to depend on how he plays today, I guess, but I think our defense keeps us in the game, keeps us within the spread. That's how I feel about it.
So you don't think the fans are going to start cheering for TJ this week?
I think there's going to be some "Let's Go Brandon" chants in the stands this week. If nobody knows what I'm talking about, then just look up "Let's Go Brandon" and watch the video. Hey, I will say, last week I was so exhausted on Saturday that I went to bed at halftime at the LSU game, so I didn't even get to see LSU get beat. I didn't get to see us break the streak.
Oh, LSU lost last week?
Yeah, they did.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait.
There's two teams in every conference that's allowed to talk trash, and that's the best team and the worst team. And since we're the worst team right now, I can easily say that Auburn is dog shit, just like LSU. But Bo Nix pulled probably 5 consecutive rabbits out of his ass to win that game. Like, if you watched the first half, you saw those scrambles, and there was one moment where he had 3 LSU defenders. He straight up did this and threw the ball like a grenade and scored a touchdown. Trash. So,
Playmaker.
I thought it was a good game, and Bo Nix had to play the game of his life to scrape by with the hair of his chinny chin chin. And like I said, LSU's bad. We are not a complete team this year. If Bo Nix thinks that he's going to go elbow deep in his anus to find some magic again, he's going to have to do it against a team that's not broken like LSU. I don't see Georgia's defense allowing that whatever happened to happen. For Auburn's offense to move the ball. So at that point, if Auburn were to keep it within the spread like you think, Cody, their defense would have to play stellar. Because I don't think Auburn's offense can do it. Auburn's offense struggled mightily against LSU, and LSU's defense is. It pains me to say we were known as one of the defensive powerhouses in the SEC for like 20 years. Bro, if we played Vanderbilt this year, they'd probably put up 30 on us. Like, our defense is all kinds of trash. And Vanderbilt is, I think, the 130th team in the country right now. They are bad. So I just
Wait a minute. You said in a text last week that LSU has Alabama talent and Vandy coaches.
Yeah. That's why we're so bad, because our Vandy coaches are putting our guys in the wrong spot. I almost feel like the coaches are saying, hey, when they snap the ball, we're going to trick them. You're going to have your back to them, and they're not going to know what to do. So they say hunt, and our back is to them, and then the play happens, and we're confused. We are coached so poorly right now. Like, just to put some perspective, if you look at the top 5 cornerbacks in the SEC, like the top 5, we have 2 of them. We have one of the worst passing defenses in the SEC right now. But we have 2 of the best listed cornerbacks? Tell me that's not coaching. Absolute garbage. So much garbage. It's the biggest garbage ever. Garbage dump. Like, I'm so pissed off right now, frustrated at our coaching staff. It just, something doesn't add up. When you have everybody's like, Derek Stingley Jr. is one of the best. Lott is one of the best cornerbacks in the country. In the country, not the SEC, in the country. And we can't stop a pass? Bruh. But yeah, right now I am extremely frustrated with our coaching. Ed Ogeron thought he picked up gold when it came to our new offensive and defensive coordinator, but our defensive coordinator couldn't stop a nosebleed. The defensive line is coming through like a wet paper bag, and then the offense runs good until you get to the 25 to 30 yard line, and then we stall out and have to kick 40 to 50 yard field goals almost every drive. I mean, hell, against Auburn we kicked 5 field goals, 50 plus, maybe not 50 plus, but 5 field goals we kicked. And that's the only reason we had that big lead. We scored 1 touchdown in that game, despite us having, 24 points? 1 touchdown. We cannot complete the drive. But anyways, I think Auburn and LSU are pretty well-balanced teams this year when it comes to that game. We played very well. Auburn's defense kept us tamed for the most part, the bend but don't break. And then Bo Nix had some fantastic magic, like some shit like Joe Burrow did when he won the championship. Just scrambled, and people were like, oh, man, he is sacked. Oh, no, okay, well, he sacked this time. No, he sacked this time. Okay, he throws a touchdown. I don't get it. What happened? I don't understand. He did. So you didn't watch the second half, but he did it. He did it 3 times that game total.
Yeah, no, it was insane.
You have got to be shitting me.
They were very much.
I had to say that word. That was an absolute travesty. Like, what the actual hell is going on? Like, I was so confused and pissed off at the same time.
In the last 2 minutes of that game, they had 3 Bon Jovi moments. They living on a prayer. Like, some of the stuff that got pulled off during those last 2 minutes was insane. Like, I'm not defending either team, but one of the things that Steven's talking about, LSU finally got to Nix. He was flushed out. He was running for his life like a gazelle running from a cheetah towards the sideline to avoid taking a hit. And at the last minute, he just goes, and chunks the ball. Oh, they catch it in the end zone.
Yeah, that was in the first half. I saw that one.
It's that's insane.
I got a funny story about that. My wife, she doesn't watch much football. She came home and I was watching that game, and she said, she sat down with me and she's like, "Well, heard that I've heard Nick's catching a lot of crap. What's going on with that?" And I said, "Well,
he sucks.
He's not a good quarterback. He's a good playmaker, but he's not a good quarterback." And as soon as I said that play happened that you're talking about, where he runs for his life, runs over there, they got 3 people tackling him, and he just throws it, and the guy's open in the end zone, catches it. And I was like, see what I mean? It's like I said, but in a minute, he's gonna do something really stupid in the pocket. And sure enough, next time Auburn got the ball, he steps up in the pocket and throws and just completely just misses the receiver. I mean, it's awful. I mean, it looked like something we would do in our game at break, It's just horrible. And I was like, see? He's not a good quarterback. He's a playmaker.
And I think ultimately the one thing that just absolutely pisses me off about the way that game turned out is that I don't mind. Losing happens. It happens. And Auburn has had some great teams beat LSU. But the absolute luck that, and it's not Auburn as a whole, it's Bo Nix, because 90% of his games, he is absolute trash. I've watched him throw wide open receivers by 10 yards for when it could have been touchdowns. I've seen it happen. All of this isn't even the past. This is this season. But for some reason, this game, he can close his eyes, get tackled, throw it up, and it's a perfect pass right to the receiver's pocket hands. The luck that he had that game is what pisses me off. If Auburn played a fantastic game and beat us, hey, it is what it is. But the fact that he had to really just elbow deep to get in there to find the magic is what frustrates me. I don't understand.
Okay, so
it's just as frustrating as an Auburn fan to watch the guy get flushed. He almost gets sacked. So you're like, you're just doing this the whole play, and then he scores. You're like,
I can only imagine, you sit in front of the TV and probably 30 times a game, what the hell are you doing?
Yep.
All right, so considering everything you just said about LSU, do you honestly think they're going to march into Kentucky and win this game?
I do. I think
I'm not going to give you a funny face like you gave me when I said I thought Auburn would cover against Georgia. You're over going.
Yeah, it's your turn. You do it. LSU's bouncing back this week. LSU's going to beat Kentucky by 10.
I do
have LSU covering. I don't know if they. I think they can win. I surely do.
If they cover, they've got what spread are you picking against? I'm looking at the current spread. It's Kentucky by 2. So if LSU covers, they win.
I think it's opened at 5. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it would have been a field goal or something like that.
last time I looked at it, it was 3.5. So, but that's yesterday. So it's come down that much. A lot of money going on LSU.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, and Cody brought up what I said earlier, and that's the perfect way to sum up LSU. We have Alabama talent. We do. I mean, we have a running back that is phenomenal. We have, I believe, a quarterback I think is top 2 in the SEC. But we just can't finish drives for touchdowns and stuff like that. I mean, dude's slinging the ball. He's a boss. I think he's got 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions or something like that. And we're only, 5 games in the season? I mean, he's a beast. And then we have some fantastic defensive backs. Our defensive line is phenomenal. We probably need a little help in the linebacker core. We probably need a little bit of help with the offensive line. But ultimately, we have Alabama talent. But our coaching staff, in my opinion, has us out of all kind of position. Like, dudes should be playing man coverage with the talent that we have. We should be blitz. Dude, Auburn respects our run game so little that they rushed 2 defensive linemen in the fourth quarter. 2, and we still didn't run the ball.
You're getting too excited. You're clipping your mic out. I can't hear anything you're saying.
And I'm not a coach, but that's a common sense play. If there's 8 minutes left in the game, and they put 2 down linemen, you run the damn ball. That's an easy 6 yards. You're not stop the run with 2 defensive linemen. That's how little they respected our run. Okay, anyways, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. LSU beats Kentucky today, then.
Okay, I want to touch base on 2 more big games and 1 more game before we wrap this up this week. I want, as usual, I want y'all's opinion. Does Jimbo Fisher become the first Saban assistant to beat him?
Hell no. Get routed today. I mean, routed.
And I said that at the beginning of the season that Texas A&M is the most overrated team in the SEC. I don't know. LSU's trying to challenge that right now, but
He's the
Texas
most overrated coach in the SEC.
He is, yeah, dude.
That
Texas
guy's
A&M
making almost $10 million a year to be the head coach there, and he is awful.
Yeah, he's about to blow his load against it. Alabama's rolling through that game. I'm pretty sure this. I'm gonna go ahead and predict that the score by halftime is gonna be like 35-6. Like they might kick 2 field goals, and Alabama's just steamrolling them.
So you think
done before half?
So y'all think Alabama covers this 18-point spread?
I do. Yeah, I picked them.
Alan, I think you're playing Call of Duty with us at 8:30. That's how I feel about this game.
8:30. At the latest. You might play earlier. You might see the first half and be like, because what is it? Georgia played Vanderbilt and they were up 35-0 in the first quarter, and there was still 2 minutes left in the first quarter. That's going to be at Texas A&M today. Texas A&M is not a good football team, and their coach is not a great coach. I'm telling you, I can't believe Texas A&M comes in ranked like top 5 every year, and they just lost last week to nobody, didn't they?
Last week. Oh, hold on.
They haven't lost to nobody.
Mississippi State.
Oh yeah, okay.
They should not have lost to Mississippi. LSU beat Mississippi State.
What time's the LSU game?
6:30.
6:30.
Well, Steven may not be on at 8:30.
Yeah.
So check this out. Look, so here's my game set up right here, and then there's my TV to watch the game. I'm covered. I'm gonna turn the game on. It's gonna sit there, and then I might be playing, and you might be like, "Hey, Steve, you're getting your ass kicked," and I'll be like, "Yeah, okay, yeah."
Okay. I do. I think Alabama wins this game pretty. I think they win this game pretty easily. So we'll move on. Another big game in the SEC. Real quick, so we can start wrapping this up. I want to touch base on one more game after this. Y'all got Arkansas, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Arkansas looks really good, but my biggest problem with Arkansas is that I think so far this season they've been relying really, really heavy on defense, and the offense has been kind of weathering the storm the first half, the second half putting up points. I just think Ole Miss is the type of offense where if you don't score in the first half, like Arkansas hasn't been strong with that, I think that they end up putting up a lot of points before Arkansas can keep up or catch up, so to speak. I have Ole Miss winning. I mean, they might be able to make it a close game, but I think Ole Miss is the better, I think Ole Miss will have the one-up, in my opinion.
I
Can't
think
remember who I picked
Arkansas.
in this game, but I like. I feel like Arkansas's defense is better than advertised. So I think and we've seen what defense can do to Ole Miss last week. I mean, Alabama shut them down. I'm not saying that Arkansas's defense has got the athletes that Alabama does, but
Yeah.
schemes can slow down Ole Miss. So I feel like Arkansas keeps this pretty close. I don't know if they win. I think the spread's 5.5, something like that.
Yeah,
I think it's probably a 3-point game or something. I feel like Arkansas keeps it there.
yeah, I agree. I think this is a fun one to watch. I think this stays competitive for the entire 60 minutes. They got the over at 66.5 points. I think we could. I don't really see this game scoring that many points. I think both of them try to play a defensive game and play protective. I do see this being a close game. I see it being a competitive game.
I think if it gets close to that number, then Arkansas's in a world of hurt. For Arkansas to cover this game and be competitive, this needs to be a 24-21 game kind of thing. If Ole Miss is getting in the 30s, Arkansas is gonna have a long day.
And the last game I want to touch on before we wrap up this week.
Tennessee's back.
Well, they got me last week. That's for dang sure.
I picked them.
Do y'all, before we got on this call today, did either of y'all watch Game Day when it was first coming on?
Mm.
I thought this was very funny because I forgot where Game Day was going to be at this week. So I turn on Game Day, sitting here working at the computer, waiting on this call. Game Day comes on the air, and you hear SEC, SEC, SEC. I'm like, hold on. There's no. Are they at the Grove? No, they're at the Red River Rivalry. They're at the
Yep.
Texas-Oklahoma game, and everybody is there chanting SEC.
Yes.
So
This is one of my favorite games of the year. Every year, I love watching this game. And it's
This
always
is-
an 11 o'clock game, and it is so cool. You can see the state fair behind it. This is a bucket list game for me. I would love to go to this game one day and make it like a 3 or 4 day weekend and go to the state fair and do all that stuff and then go to the game. And uh, I love this game. And I've been riding Texas all year, so I'm taking Texas in this game.
I think Texas pulls the upset. I think Mr. McConaughey can rile them up. I think he's there this year, and I think all right, Texas wins this game.
I got Texas too. I actually really like the way Texas has been playing, and then Oklahoma this year has had 3 or 4 nail biters.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Yeah, they look like trash this year. I don't know how in the world they're number 4
They're number 6.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they shouldn't be in top 10.
They're. I say that, and they probably put up 50 today, but so thus far they have not been impressive.
No, I think that's that game from the time we're recording this. That game, as well as the Arkansas Ole Miss game, kick off in approximately 1 hour. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, get ready for a day of football. And I was looking at our page, our YouTube page, yesterday, and hopefully it won't be 3 weeks before we get y'all another episode. We will have some more stuff upcoming. Cody's going to get his video together. Just for shits and giggles, I might put up that intro I recorded for Furnace Fest with a few clips of some bands that I recorded. If y'all just want to see that, none of it's full songs. It's just clips from several of the bands I went and saw. I might do a concert recap video and just put up some videos from Attila and aggregate all the concerts I've been to this year just to have something to do just for some content. Might put that up. Let y'all see what concerts I've been going to. I've got several more coming up. Got my cruise coming up, so it's finally happening, guys. I take off November 5th. I'll leave for New Orleans November 6th. We get on the boat November 7th. So that means that does mean, however, that I'm going to have to sweet talk my wife to letting me go to a bar the night of November 6th, because that's also a very important game in the SEC world. And I cannot miss that game. And I just need... Listen, I need your advice, though.
About that game.
Should I go into a bar in New Orleans wearing my full Alabama gear?
Your PP won't work by the time you leave.
They got tied in a knot.
You'll be sterile.
Well, Cody can tell you now it's big enough. And with that, we will... Oh, I might have to cut that. We'll see if I let that one stay in. Anyway, y'all got anything else to say before we wrap up this episode?
I would like to apologize to our fans about how rowdy I got earlier. My football team really excites me, and I apologize for some of the profanity and the yelling and excitement. I have high expectations for my team, and they are not meeting right now. But, I would like to know, what team gets you rowdy? Comment below. What team gets you fired up? Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
we can't even understand what your coach says, so we're not real worried about how you feel about your team.
Well, that's what helps him make a play call right now, because nobody understands what he's saying. He can call where he wants on the field. We doing football, we score a touchdown, okay? Go Tigers.
That farmer friend down there.
All right, everybody. That takes it for episode 43. We will see you next time. Look for a few different videos. Like I said, hopefully it won't be 3 weeks before we all get together again. We are still working on getting some in-person stuff. We got to line some stuff up, see what we can do with everything I've got coming up now. It'll probably be at least December before we can organize anything. We're going to still get together. We'll figure out what we're going to do, but we're going to do some more in-person stuff because that's always fun.
There's still time for Cody to get Slipknot tickets, and then the three of us can do that. We can triple date.
Hey, I heard them advertising that on the radio yesterday.
It's a sign. We'll see you October 30th.
24th.
That's what I said.
If you show up October 30th, you're not seeing Slipknot.
I think on October 30th, I'm going to be in Texas. So that wouldn't have worked anyway.
Why are you going to Texas?
A wedding.
Oh, okay.
cousin's getting married.
Who gave them permission to do that during football season?
I know, right? I think that's the. Let's see. Well, they live out there, so I don't know who they root for. She went to Rice, so she's probably a Rice fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Owls.
Ooh, Auburn plays Ole Miss that day.
LSU probably plays Arkansas. I'm not excited about that.
I can't tell because y'all aren't in the top 25. Let me find you.
Oh, the shade has been thrown.
Yeah. Y'all have an off day. All right, that's a week before the Bama game. We're both off. October 30th is a week before the Bama LSU game. We both have bye weeks.
All right, yeah. I was thinking it was October 6th was the game, but it's November 6th. Got it. Yep, got it. Cool.
Cool deal, everybody. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Woo.